All right, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do some more solving equations. This time we're going to add in combining like terms. So we've now talked about equations with variables on both sides, distributive property, and today we're going to be adding in combining like terms. So you're going to see kind of all three of those things in some of these examples. All right, so our first example, we're going to start with something like -3 times 2x minus 7 plus 4x is equal to 15. All right, so remember, we talked about yesterday that anytime we see parentheses, we want to use our distributive property and multiply out of them. So I'm going to take my -3 and I'm going to multiply it by the 2x and the -7. So when I do that, I'm going to be left with -6x, positive 21, plus 4x is equal to 15. Now, the part that's a little bit different today is once we do that, we have an x here and an x here. We need to get those together. Since they are on the same side of the equal sign, we can simply combine them together or add them together. So when they're on the same side, we can take our -6x and we can take our positive 4x and we can add them together. We could not do that if they were on different sides, but since they're on the same side, we can add them together. So with that said, -6x and positive 4x is going to be -2x. Plus 21 is equal to 15. Now to finish up, we've got a two-step equation here. I'm going to subtract 21 on both sides. This will leave me with -2x equals -6. And then to finish, I'm going to divide by -2 on both sides. And I'm going to be left with x is equal to positive 3. All right, let's do one more example with combining like terms, just so you can make sure we got this down. All right, so our next example here, it'd be 4x minus 8 plus 7 minus 6x equals -9 minus 1x. Now I look at this and it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'm going to kind of just try and follow my steps. I don't see any parentheses, so I don't need to do my distributive property. So then what I want to look for is I want to look for like terms. Like terms, remember, have to be on the same side. So if it helps, you might want to draw a little line here. And we're just going to focus on this left side to start with, and then we'll focus on the right side. So on the left side, I look and I see, and I have a 4x and a -6x that I can combine. So 4x and -6x, -2x. Now I also look and I notice I have a -8 and a positive 7. Even though those are different, these are constants, those are not variables, those are also considered like terms. So I can take -8 and positive 7, and I can combine that as well to get -1. Now I look on the right side and I see if I can combine anything over here. -9 and -1x. One is a constant, -9, while -1x has a variable. So those are not like terms, so I can't add them or combine them at all. So I'm just going to bring them right down as -9 minus 1x. Now this looks a lot like the problems that we started with on Monday, where we have our variables on both sides. I have -2x over here and -1x over here. Now be careful, we cannot add these together because these are on different sides of my equation. So at this point, I have to try to get them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2x to both sides. What that will do is it will make this 0 over here. So I'm just going to be left with 0 minus 1, or negative 1, equals, over here I'll have negative 9, and negative 1x plus 2x is a positive 1x. So now I have my x almost by itself over here. I just need to get rid of that negative 9. So to get rid of the negative 9, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I'll be left with 8 is equal to x, or x equals 8. All right, be careful when you're doing these problems. Although you're doing them online, I strongly suggest that you do them on a piece of paper and then put your answer in. If you try to do these in your head, there's a lot of steps and you're bound to make a mistake. So I highly recommend do these on a piece of paper and then look at your answer. All right, let me know if you have any questions.